Hey, Facebook, hello, 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 LinkedIn, YouTube, whichever platform you just happen to be catching this. I'm Bofta Yimam coming at ya, and I hope you're having a lovely day. I will wait for a few of you to hop on here. I am recording this live. As you know, that's the way to go so that I can get it to you really quickly without ever having to think about it. But really what I wanted to focus on today is the title. And it's about how to gain clarity on your story within minutes. I've been speaking to plenty of people on the phone, at networking events, at speaking engagements. That's why my voice is pretty shot right now. But I've been speaking to different people about this. You know, how do I take something that's murky and muddled and I feel overwhelmed when I try to break it out and create this story out of all the different things and the different pieces of impact that I've had in my life and experiences and different people who've influenced me. Because the reality is, if we were going to tell everybody everything, nobody would listen because it would be 3 and 4 hours long, and we don't have time for that, especially if you're a keynote speaker, you're brought on to speak on a stage of some sort, whatever it might be, or even a presentation for your position, for your job. So the question really becomes, how do we weave the story together? But the first thing that I would recommend to anyone who's struggling with this, if you're feeling like so many people I talk to, murky, overwhelmed, confused, lacking clarity on your story, is to really think about transformational moments. And what I mean by transformational moments are the moments where you felt yourself take a shift. And that could mean anything that some people think is really amazing, that something amazing happened to you and it changed who you are. It made you take a different life direction. Or it could be the opposite, you know, and it could be something that doesn't feel so good. That's not something that you really tend to talk about that much. And the important part here is that you recognize that it's a transformational moment. And I'll go to the next step in a moment. But if this is helping you, definitely give me a like here, a subscribe, a share, if you find this at all helpful. So after you've discovered what this transformational moment is, and this is just one example because you're going to want to have a few of these sprinkled throughout. But the next step would be to say, how did it change me? So really recognizing how this moment, event, experience changed you. And then the third thing that I would ask you to look for is, what did I learn personally from this experience, this event, this moment? What did I personally learn? And how did this make me a better person? You know, what about this experience moved me to change in one direction or the other? Because we can always learn something from the experience, right? And then I would say to you, with this transformational moment, just calling it that for ease, right? The next thing I would say for you to think about is, what can my audience now learn and take away from my experience? Now, you won't be able to do this throughout the talk all the time, because there's other things that you want to weave in, and there is an art and a craft to it, right? Because you're into the world of storytelling here, which is a craft. But this is somewhere where you can start if you are feeling murky and overwhelmed and unsure about, well, where do I even begin and how do I even start to process this? This can give you some clarity, like I said, within minutes, as the headline says here, because I think it's important that you reflect not on every single moment and who did this to me and why did they do this to me and, falling into that, but more so just putting on your outside lens and saying to yourself, wait a minute, I really went through this and I'm going to own it and I'm going to help others and impact others in a positive way by sharing this transformational moment. And then that's where the storytelling comes in, when you're actually looking at, okay, what happened before, during, and after this particular story that I want to talk about and share with my audience. So I hope this is something that you find powerful. It's an exercise that can get you onto the right track if you are feeling like you start to think about, how do I share my story, and you fall into this overwhelm, right? And I think it happens to more people than people really talk about, because I end up talking to them one-on-one and finding that it really is so many experts. There's so many entrepreneurs, change agents, industry transformers who want to share their story but get lost in this part of, wait, where do I even start? So if you don't have a coach yet and you're looking to share your story more and you're looking to speak more and really have that high impact and you are an expert, then message me and let me know that that's something that you might want to be interested in, is digging more into this process, because it is a process. If you're going to do it right, it's a process. If you're trying to build that signature compelling story. If you're not trying to do this yet, then this is just something, this is a great exercise for you to get started really thinking about, what impact and legacy do I want to leave behind? Whether it's the start of a book, because oftentimes people take what's on the stage and then they say, oh, wait a minute, I've got chapters now for my new book. And I've worked with clients who've dealt with that, and then they start writing their book because they have some of the chapters that are right there. So transformational moments are really, really impactful. Really looking at when you're just trying to not get too complicated on principles, not get too complicated on all the other things, but just focusing on where do I start in telling my story. This can really help you get from a certain point to a certain point. Now, there's much more to it, but I won't bog you down on that because we want to take some steps here, right? So that you don't get into overwhelm, which is what oftentimes happens. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to you letting me know, first off, if this has been valuable for you and what's holding you back from really sharing your story. All right? Okay. See you later, everyone.